Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Stacy's Closet. If you're here, that means you're here on purpose, which means you have purpose. Now, this morning I just have on a simple jumpsuit, you guys, earrings. They both came from Cato's. I'm going to put that in the description. This headband, I just wanted to give my hair a little flair because I just got it in a ponytail. I just pulled my hair in a ponytail and put this little scarf over it. This headband came from Walmart. Again, that's going to be in the description. But what I love this morning that I feel like is just giving me life this morning are my shoes, my shoes, my shoes. And guess what, you guys? They came from Rack Room. Again, I'm going to put that in the description. For my nails, my church, my jumpsuit, my earrings, all of that is going to be in the description, you guys. So again, welcome to Stacy's Closet. Again, mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you and I've missed you. Now, let's get into it. This morning, we're going to be talking about second chances. Okay? So, as you know, there's always, I feel like everybody at some point will need or will want a second chance, right? Okay, sometimes some of us might need third, fourth, fifth chances, okay, to get it right, okay? And sometimes, it might take some of us hard-headed folk a few times before we get it right. But this morning we're talking about second chances, okay? So I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to talk about myself, okay? Because I don't want nobody to be mad. You know how y'all so easily offended and whatnot. So I'm going to talk about myself. So as for me, I used to think that if a person asked me for a second chance and asked me for forgiveness, I was supposed to forgive this person and automatically give them a second chance. Some people I gave third, fourth, fifth, sixth, an unsurmountable number of chances, right? And they continue to do the same thing. So guess what? They didn't hurt me. I hurt me. I overstayed my welcome. They showed me who they was a long time ago. I just didn't believe them. Because guess what? First time they get me, shame on them. Second time, shame on me. That's just what it is. So, but I'm learning I don't have to have a relationship with people. I used a perfect example. I was staying with someone and their daughter was a thief, okay? And so I took what I thought was all of my worldly possessions, everything that really meant something to me or cost something. I put it in my car. I locked my car up and I slept with my keys. That's just how bad that person was a thief. Now, should I have continued to forgive her for all the things that she had stolen from me and continue to put myself in that situation? No, I'm not a doormat. I am not a doormat, okay? And I don't have to, look, just because a person asks you for forgiveness, you don't have to keep going around that person. You don't have to have a relationship with that person. I believe that so much to where I continue to allow them to steal from me, to lie to me, all of this crap. When the Bible clearly tells us how can two walk together unless they be agreed. So guess what? We were not in agreement because I did not agree that it was okay that she steal from me. So how we in agreement? How was it okay? I wasn't running around here stealing and robbing folks, so we couldn't walk together. We didn't share the same type of spirit. So again, those were my choices. I made those choices. Okay? So I had to deal with the consequences of my choices. And I did. And I did. Okay? Now, so I realized as time goes by, just because you forgive a person does not mean that you have to have a relationship with me. You don't have to be in my inner circle. If I'm going to be whoever in my inner circle, I want to be able to trust that person. I want to be able to know that person is loyal, trustworthy, and honest. I don't have to have a relationship with you if you're not one of those things. Because I'm giving you honesty, loyalty, all of that. I'm giving you all of that. I know people be like, well, you give a person the same energy they give you. No, I'm not giving you no energy. If I see what you are, if you're a user, look, go be a user. Hey, how you doing? From a distance. How your family doing? From a distance. We ain't got to have no relationship. None of that. I can speak to you from a distance. I can still love you from a distance. Because guess what? Prayer can go, well, I can't go. So I'm going to stay over here in my lane, in my circle of people that I know that I can trust and are loyal to me, and I'm loyal to them. I'm going to stay over in that circle, and I'm going to keep praying that you get your life together. But I'm not going to stop loving you. We're just not going to have a relationship. Me and you aren't going to be on that. We are not going to be in that term. We ain't going to hang out, none of that, because I already know what type of person you are. So guess what? I don't have to surround myself with that. Same way goes with you. But now, if a person genuinely and sincerely has changed, now, when I say change, that means you're able to see the changes. When seasons change, you're able to see the season changing. You're able to feel the shift in the season. When seasons change, and when summertime is over and fall begins to come in, the cool air begins to come on in, and guess what? You feel the difference. You're able to see the difference because the trees the leaves turn a different color. They start to fall off the tree. Again, you're able to see and feel the change. Same way with people. You should be able to feel and see the changes. If a person has genuinely changed, you should be able to see that and feel it. And let me just tell you, don't bring me no flowers talking about, baby, I love you, I'm so sorry. These flowers going to be dead in about 2 to 3 days, and you're going to be back to the same behavior pattern that you was before. Because all you did was flowers will just, baby, hang if you can hang. You remember that? No pain, no gain? Listen, you ain't going to keep hurting me, and I'm going to keep screaming, no pain, no gain. No, baby, I don't want your pain. Listen, I've gained wisdom, and wisdom tells me, don't keep putting myself in that situation for you to keep hurting me. If you're not changing, if I don't see the shift in your changing, if I don't see the change in your behavior pattern, then stop putting yourself through that foolishness. Now, if a person, I had a conversation with someone, right? And her husband and her split up, right? And he cheated. And so I asked her, I said, so would you give him a second chance? And she said, oh yeah, I would. I told him that. And I thought about it. I'm thinking to myself, well, I wonder why they didn't work. It seems like he wanted her back, right? So I was just questioning myself, not her, but myself. And I was saying to self, I wonder why that didn't work. And I had whatever you want to call it, I had God dropped this down in my spirit and gave me a revelation. And he said, maybe she put too many stipulations on the taking back. And I was like, wow, that it could be true. I'm not saying that that's what happened. Let me just put that out there. I am not saying that's what happened. I'm simply saying that could have been what happened. And this is what I'm saying when I say about too many rules. We will lay down all these rules and regulations. Okay, so now you want to work things out. You need to do this, and the other. Okay, if you got to lay down all them ground rules, baby, then it probably ain't meant to be. Because guess what? You should have seen the change. You should have seen the shift. So you shouldn't have to offer up all them ground rules. Because guess what? You already seen the change in who that person was. So you already saw that person wasn't going to go back to doing that because that was no longer the person. Now, if you got to lay down all these ground rules, you need to go be with your child, because guess what? That's basically what you're doing to him or her. You're making him or her feel like a child because now you got all these rules and regulations they need to abide by. Grown people don't work that way. They don't operate off that way. Honestly, not even children. You can lay down all these rules and regulations. Children break them. We break rules. We don't listen all the time. We disobedient a whole lot of the times. We fail. We fall short because we're not perfect. So again, if you got to put all these rules, baby, you probably don't need to be with that person. Because you shouldn't have to have all those things, because they should already know. If they're coming back to you, they should be able to come back to you and you already know this person is now loyal. He's no longer a cheat, a liar, none of that. That's not what they are. She ain't no gold digger. She ain't no hoe no more. She ain't none of that, okay? Because that's, a lot of y'all, want to turn these hoes into housewives. I'm just saying. I hate that term because I don't like to down women, because, this is the thing. Men, they go around sleep with everybody, and guess what? Oh, they just get a pat on their back. But women, we get labels, okay? So I don't like to label a woman. But what I am going to say is we need to stop turning unwifey women, trying to make them wife material. If they're not ready to be a wife, stop trying to force that thing on them. Same way with a man. If a man ain't ready to be your husband, stop trying to force it. Because guess what? It will blow up in your face if they're just simply not ready. Okay? So, again, if this person is saying to you, hey, I want a second chance. Listen, and you see their change. Then what you first need to do is you need to sit down and you need to have a conversation, and you say, what is it that I did that created what we got to? What is it that I did that got us to where we're at? Okay? What is it that I didn't do that got us to where we at? Because sometimes women or men, we can make a toxic relationship. And so we can create that atmosphere for toxicity. We can do that. So again, some of this stuff is we've helped create this problem. So you need to own up and take accountability for whatever it is you did. And you say to them, tell me what it is that I did. I need to work on that so that I don't do it again. I want to be better. I want us to work. So I need you to tell me what it is that I wasn't doing or that I did do that caused us to get to where we are. Take ownership. Because don't we always want to put it on this person? Okay, listen. We blame people because, they cheated. Why? Because you can see your sin? Because that sin is seen. We think we better because we got some sins that can't be seen like that. Okay. No, you're not. You are not. And this is the thing. No, you cannot make a man or a woman go out here and cheat. You are not responsible because at the end of the day, they are. However, some of us can create a situation where to make a man easier. It makes it easier for him to go out here and cheat. But we done got on his nerves. I'm going to talk about myself. Listen, when I sit down and I said, okay, what is it that I did? Because guess what? I talk too much. Listen, y'all. I already know it. I could tell myself I talk too much. Your opinion is not needed nor required. I don't need you to amen that. I'm just telling you I could talk about myself. But with that being said, I know that I do that. I know I do that. So sometimes I can talk out of pocket. Because I'm telling you, for those people that really know me, know. I can get real loose with this. This thing can be real lethal sometimes. And you've heard of that where they say it's unfair fight because you hitting below the belt. Because before I used to be real bad. Make me mad. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, everybody. I don't care if they dead or alive. I'm gonna talk about them. That's just how reckless and ruthless my mouth was. My mouth was a savage. And people used to be like, well, mess around and get hit in the mouth. That was also part of the problem too. You swing on me, baby, we was gonna be brawling. Again, not a good thing, right? Not a good thing. Because I learned a long time ago, my mama taught me a very valuable lesson. We used to live on 19th Street, right? In Winston-Salem. Anybody in Winston-Salem know that's the projects, okay? It is. It was not actually the projects. It was just the rough side of town. It was a street before the projects, so it wasn't that much better. But it wasn't the projects, but it was bad. And I had a ruthless and reckless mouth even then, running off at the mouth. And I ran off at the mouth with a couple of girls. And they came up, they called themselves, they wanted to fight me. Now, listen. I had a sister and a brother that they didn't let nobody mess with me. So if I couldn't handle you, I'm telling you, if I couldn't handle you, I was going to go get my sister and brother, right? Well, this particular day, these couple of girls, I think it was 3 of them, they came up there, they were going to fight me. I'm like, yeah, because I done talked about everybody. I done talked about their mama, their grandmama, everybody. I done talked about everybody, right? Now they ready to fight. Okay, here they come. I'm thinking, yeah, come on up here. My sister and my brother here. Come on. My mama put my black tail up out that house and locked the door. Guess who did not come to help me? My sister nor my brother, okay? My mama said, no, it's time up for that. You running that mouth, you going to get out there and fight. But it was more, Mama, it more than one of them. She did not care. She did not care. Beatrice told me I shouldn't have been running my mouth. So I had to, I learned real quick. Baby, you out there running your mouth, you better be able to hang, okay? So, I had to fight. Now, I'm going to keep it 100. Y'all know them girls whooped my tail. It was 3 of them on one of me. Y'all know I got beat up. But I learned a valuable lesson about that thing. Stop running my mouth if I could. If you can't hold your own, don't go out there running that mouth. If you got a 911 fight game, don't have no thug mouth now. Don't do that. Don't have no gangster mouth. And you know you scary. Don't do that. Don't do that. But again, as I was saying, I had to learn a lesson that day. So sometimes we bring things to the table. We bring things that we need to work on. We bring things that, guess what? It could have led to where we got to. So I had to check that. I'm working on that. I'm not as bad as I used to be. I'm working on it. I am. Honey, as a songwriter said, God is not through with me yet. But when he gets done, I'll come out as pure gold. So he's still working with me. Okay? But honestly and seriously, when you decide that you want to give a person a second chance, understand something. You're not perfect and they're not perfect, okay? So that's first and foremost. So you need to understand we be wanting people to forgive us, but then we become very unforgiving when somebody offends us, then we don't want to forgive. But we want all this forgiveness when we do wrong. Same rule applies, baby. The same way that we want forgiveness, we need to be able to give forgiveness, okay? So with that being said, I understand. Forgive them, please forgive them. Because I know it's easier said than done, but truly forgiveness is not for that person. It truly is for you. It will open you up to, because sometimes we can't have a real and authentic relationship because we have a lot of unforgiveness going on. So we can't give a second chance to somebody because we have all this unforgiveness that's bottled up on the inside. If we learn to forgive, we can move forward. You don't have to be in a relationship with that person. You do not have to choose to give that person a second chance. But I do want you to choose to forgive that person. Because remember now, there's going to be a point in time in your life you're going to need forgiveness. So you need to learn how to be forgiving. Okay? Now, again, the number one thing to know and understand when you want to give a person a second chance, or you're considering giving a person a second chance, is, did they change? Or do they still have the same characteristics that got y'all to the place that you got to anyway? Are they still, if a person is verbally abusive, right? I believe that person can still change. I truly do. I believe that person, if they genuinely want to change, if they want to, some people might need to go to therapy. So because a lot of times that's a learned behavior. So sometimes they might need to go to therapy and work through those things, because that could have been something that they learned. They were taught that, right? So I believe that a person can change, because listen, a lot of times I really do. I think that physical abuse is not always as bad as verbal abuse. Because even if the person gives you a black eye, that black eye is going to heal and it's going to go away. But that verbal is still in the mind. It still eats away at the thought process, the mind. So again, I think, my personal opinion, I think that a verbal abuse to me is worse than physical. I do. They used to be like, sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt you. I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that. I think it's the opposite. I think that yes, the sticks and stones may hurt you, but them words will break you. Okay? I was verbally abused for years, growing up or whatever, and it hurt for years. And it took years to process and get through that foolishness. So again, I know that can hurt. So again, that's why I said, if a person genuinely is sincere, I believe that they can change. But they have to sincerely want to change and go through it. And you see that. If you see that, I do think that person, again, it's up to you whether or not you want to give them a second chance. But I say to you that if you see that they have changed and you believe wholeheartedly that they've changed, y'all need to stop worrying about what other people are going to say. that is because some of y'all ain't giving people second chances because you worried about what mama and them, Tommy and them, and boo boo and them gonna say. Y'all need to get out of that, and y'all need to understand their opinion is not needed nor required. Because at the end of the day, it is not their life, it is yours. When you look to the left or the right side of your bed and ain't none of them people in there, why are you worried about what they talking about? They don't know your business like that. Why? Who cares what they say? And half them over there lying. Because you know what? I learned some. You know, some of the main people that, man, I wouldn't stay with him. He done cheated on her. Well, baby, yours cheated on you and had a baby. Why are you talking? You shouldn't even be at the table talking about it. This is the adult table. You should still be over there at the kids table. Because as an adult, we would understand that, guess what? You cannot throw a rock and you live in a glass house. So she need to go sit in the kids table until she mature a little bit and grow up, okay? So now let's go back to the grown people table. Because the grown people table, we understand that we are all humans, right? We all make mistakes. We do. And at some point, we are all going to require and need forgiveness. It's facts, okay? Now, with that being said, nobody can tell you how to live your life. But what I am saying to you, sweetheart, because again, God gave you two things. When you got up today, you had a chance and a choice, okay? And I'm telling you to choose life. Choose to forgive. Choose to give a person, if they're genuinely and sincerely have changed, choose to give them a second chance. For real. Because sometimes, baby, guess what? That second time around, girl, might be the best thing you ever had. Honey, you might not ever find nobody else who would treat you the way that they do and love you the way that they do. They might have messed up and they learned from their mistake. We all mess up. Learn from it. So again, you had a choice and a chance. Take a chance on yourself and choose yourself. Choose to love you enough to where you don't have to be a doormat just because you forgive a person, and you don't have to give them a second chance just because you forgive them. Don't let somebody walk all over you with this pretense. I thought you were supposed to be forgiven, and you're supposed to forgive people. You're supposed to be in the church. God didn't tell me to be no doormat for you. He did not. It ain't nowhere in that Bible he told me to be a doormat for you. You will not keep walking all over me, baby. It won't happen. Okay? So you can say that all day long if you want. It won't happen. It won't. And listen, and I don't care if you my sister, brother, mama, daddy, it don't matter who you are. You are not, because if you cut me, I'm going to be cut and I'm going to be bleeding. If somebody in the street cut me, I'm going to be cut and I'm going to be bleeding. It's the same thing. So just because you my sister or my brother or whatever, the only difference is as my family, you should have known better than to cut me. That's just it. But at the end of the day, I'm still cut and I'm still bleeding. Don't matter. Because all this gets on my nerves. Y'all kill me with this one. Children, obey their mother and their father so their days might be longer upon the earth. Okay. Some of y'all parents, that gives y'all an open book. Y'all feel like y'all can say whatever you want to your children and treat them any kind of way, and they're not supposed to do anything or say anything because you're the parent and their days might be longer. You're going to shorten your days. I want y'all to keep reading that scripture in the same chapter, right? Just go down a couple of verses and it says, parents, provoke not your child to wrath. Okay? So y'all need to read. Tell that whole story. Don't stop telling half of it. Tell the whole thing. So again, that's telling you can provoke a child to wrath. Stop. And then y'all want to provoke them to wrath. Then when they sound off on you, all of a sudden y'all need to obey the Bible. You're supposed to honor thy mother and thy father. Okay, you ain't supposed to provoke them to wrath no way. Stop. Stop it. Your title does not give you an open field to hurt someone just because they're your child. That doesn't mean, or they're your sister, your brother, that doesn't give you an open invitation to hurt them. It doesn't. Just the same way it doesn't give them an open invitation to hurt you. It doesn't give them an open invitation to use you just because you mom, dad, sister, but it doesn't. Stop. I'm just saying, if a person is genuine and they genuinely ask you for forgiveness and they're sincere, I do believe that you should give them a second chance. Now, again. You may decide that you're able to forgive them, but you're not able to give them a second chance. Be it in friendship, be it relationship, be it marriage, whatever it is. If you don't believe that you can honestly and sincerely have a relationship with that person, you don't have to. You can forgive them and move on with your life. Go on with someone else, because sometimes you can have too much past to have a future. Okay? So if that being the case, forgive them and move on with your life. Forgive them so that they can move on with their life as well. That's it. But I do say to you that if you believe sincerely and wholeheartedly that this person has changed and you want to give them a second chance, baby, it's your life. Ride this thing till the wheels fall off. Don't let nobody else's opinions or thought process control what you do. Okay? Now I gotta go. Again, I thank you. I thank you. And if you haven't heard it today, I want to just be the first to tell you I love you. And there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. And until next time, this is Stacy's Closet signing off. I love you. I love you. I do.